Hi team, AcesUp here, back again with another edition of Guess the Mystery Hand. This time, $50 up for grabs. So stay tuned and take a shot at guessing the mystery hand to give yourself a chance to win some cash. Last episode's mystery hand, you would recall, started with a raise on the button. The big blind called. We fired the flop. We then fired again on the turn and triple barreled, jamming the river for slightly over pot. And we got max value when our opponent called with 5-3 and we showed A6 of diamonds. A flop turn semi-bluff that turned into a value bet on the river. We had some really close guesses, but nobody quite got it, which is why the $25 prize has been doubled to $50 this episode. And once again, we'll be dropping clues in PokerNerve's Facebook group. So if you haven't already, make sure you join PokerNerve's Facebook group. There's lots of great chat and strategy going on in there every day. Okay, let's see some more hands. Starting with a Guess the Hand warm-up. So I've covered my cards here in this PokerStars Big 27. We can see we're in the big blind. Early position has opened. We call and see a flop of Jack Queen 5 rainbow. We check. Opponent bets. And after the call, the turn is a repeat jack. And here's where things get interesting. A lead bet on the turn, one of my favorite plays. Our opponent calls. River's a brick. And well, slam, you knew that was coming. The overpot jam here, putting our opponent under a lot of pressure. And they tanked and then folded. Did we have quads? Not this time, it was the 10 high. We have a ton of jacks in our range, so we could represent a strong hand. And the SPR was set up nicely so we could execute that big bluff and pick up a nice pot. Of course, if you want to learn more about lead betting, it's included in our free course, Underused Plays Essential for MTT Success, where we teach the 3 skills that are key for beating live and online MTTs. Make sure you check that out. See the link in the description below for details. And as I mentioned, it's completely free, but it does contain some powerful tips to help you win more, so don't miss out. Speaking of winning, quick shout out to Gary, who I got an email from yesterday, thanking me for the PokerNerve videos, as he'd just taken down Scotland's biggest tournament, the GUKPT, so another victory for PokerNerve. Well done, Gary, great stuff. Moving on now, an interesting hand played on ACR four-handed. I raise and the big blind defends, and well, not a great flop here when you're holding King-Queen. So I decided to check back and turn, not bad, we pick up a flush draw. But our opponent pots it. It was looking like an easy call, but it's a little bit tricky now. If our outs are clean, we have 9 spades and 6 pair outs for a total of 15. Multiply that by 2 and we're around 30% to hit a favorable card, which is close to 2-1, which is the odds we're getting. But we do have some implied odds as well that we could factor in. All in all, it seems pretty close. What would you do? I decided to make the call and, well, the river, damn, the jack of clubs. And our opponent, they set us all in. So that's that. Wait a minute. Let's take a moment to think about what our opponent might be holding. We do block some flush draws our opponent could have been semi-bluffing with, which isn't great. But there's still some flush draws and a number of straight draws like 3-5, 5-9, 7-9, 9-10, maybe even some 5x and 7x our opponent was semi-bluffing with. That's a lot of combos. And this opponent had been aggressive. And in terms of metagame, we look really weak after we check back the flop. Yet our opponent opted to pot the turn and then jam the river. So hey, sometimes you just gotta man up and click the call button and see that your opponent is holding queen high. We take down another nice pot. And now it's time to guess the mystery hand. Take a shot at it to give yourself a chance to win that $50 cash. Here we're on PokerStars in the Big 55 and we raise on the button and get 3-bet by the small blind, who I believed to be a good regular. We make the call in position and get an ace-7-2 two-tone flop. Our opponent, not too surprisingly, c-bets, quarter pot here. We make the call. Turn is a 6 of spades, completes the flush, and now our opponent checks. And we fire small. Our opponent calls. River, 9 of hearts. Out of position, checks again. And we pull the trigger and fire the river. But is it a value bet or is it a bluff? What could we be holding in this situation? Take a guess in the comments below and be the first person to guess the rank and suits of the hidden cards to bag the cash. It's a tricky one, so let's say 2 guesses per person this time. And as I mentioned, we'll be giving away clues in the PokerNerve Facebook group, so join if you haven't already. We'll be doing the Guess the Hand videos more frequently in 2018. So good luck with this one. Maybe fire your first guess now and then wait to get some clues and try with that second guess. I'll leave it with you. This has been AcesUp for PokerNerve. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Man, can you imagine if we had to guess the exact cards of some of these crazy online players? I mean, you'd have a better chance of winning Lotto. Even with one card exposed, it's hard. I mean, okay, call a 3x raise to see a flop. I mean, some of the time here, I just have no idea what these players are doing. Let's call a check raise on Queen Jack 9. No problem. Call a turn is if we were ever folding when we have 2 whole cards. I mean, there's so many possibilities. We make the straight. Hallelujah, we make the straight. Thank you, little tiny baby Jesus. Now we can value bet this.
Big fish in a small pond. Not a fish trying to throw they book at the crook, but I shook. They worm and they hook.